Welcome to session 113. We're going to dive in here. Currently looking at the SPY chart, and you can kind of see we were looking at the week, and you can see what is going on. And we ripped last week, but now we are coming back down. We came back down last Friday, and now we're back down near those lows. But we'll dive into the S&P chart here soon, but we want to go over the weekly overview of Mogul Fellows. And so you can see right here, if you wanted to read this is the weekly recap in the Discord, but we have it also right here in our journal. Let's dive in to what happened last week in the portfolio. So we had a total portfolio value we logged this past weekend of 64,485.84. That is the total value of Mogul Fellows. And so we have two trading portfolios, the Mogul 30 and the Mogul Options. The Mogul 30 clocked in at 26,593.15 with cash of 14,655.62. So $14,655.62. For the Mogul Options, guys, we have it at $17,655.02. And then we have cash of 138.02 in that account. So those are the two trading accounts. We have our Mogul stock pot. These are the positions, our case study positions long term. We have that clocking in at $16,331.74, and we have $161.21 cash in that account. We also have our Mogul crypto pot here, our long-term crypto portfolio. That is $1,867.40. We have our Mogul spending. This is for activities and long-term investments and such. Giving back is also something we would like to do in the future. We have that at $1,520.40 for Mogul spending account. And then for our Mogul checking and tax savings, pretty much we use this account for transfers. If we want to bring if we want to do projects and stuff, we want to transfer to other accounts, we use this portfolio. That's at 518 for that account. So I do want to go over now the two trading portfolios. The Mogul 30, we profited $50.09 last week in that portfolio. We used the capital freed to make that 50. We freed up $1,000.40 or $1,040.09, guys. So that was a total of 4.81% return. So that $1,040 made $50.09 with a 4.81% return. Capital deployed. This is how much money we deployed last week in the portfolio in the Mogul 30 into new positions. That was at $950, guys. So we freed up more than what we put in last week, which is good because we're trying to add more cash reserves to the Mogul 30 portfolio because we want to be prepared in case this market does really come down more. So that's the Mogul 30. We profited $50.09. For the Mogul Options, we did open up a cover call last Monday. It expired worthless this last Friday. The ticker that we're doing right now is NVIDIA. We have 100 NVIDIA shares, cover call. We did a 190 strike price last week for this last Friday. It did not reach over $190, so that contract expired worthless, did not get assigned. So that premium we pocket, and now we get to do another cover call with those shares since we get to keep those shares. So $131.97 premium we made profit on that portfolio. So the total profit we made last week with both trading portfolios is $182.06, guys. and that'll be distributed into our, Mogul stock pod, our crypto pod, our Mogul spending for projects and activities and such, and hopefully giving back in the future, guys. So I want to build that spending account for projects and such. So that is pretty much the weekly overview of, our accounts. What happened last week was pretty, we obviously had the Federal Reserve come out and cut 25 basis points last Wednesday. We had 40 billion that is going to be injected into liquidity. Federal Reserve Jerome Powell announced that for this month, and then we have Oracle and Broadcom really bringing down the market last week. Investors are antsy. Also about new data coming out as well. This coming week, we have CPI and more, I think, unemployment news this week. So that's going to be interesting to see. And yeah, hopefully, it's good news. Hopefully, we'll get more, market, investor sentiment or market sentiment. Hopefully we get that, figured out. Hopefully we get the Santa Claus rally going at the end of this month. So we'll see what happens, guys. We got to be prepared. The market goes either way, guys. So that's what we do here at Mogul Fellows. We're prepared for market crashes. We're also, prepared for market rips. So we do want to announce too, we are into a new project, and this project we're not sure if it's going to work out or not, but we wanted to, try it out, and we found Go Mining, guys. Go Mining. We did a video. If you wanted to go check it out. We did a video on it, and it's pretty much let's switch this song. This song is kind of whack. It's kind of like Bitcoin mining, but you're not dealing with the headaches of getting all the equipment. You don't have to worry about the energy. You buy these NFT style miners, and you get daily rewards. So we did a lot of research on it, and we're going to be jumping into that project here, funding it from the Mogul spending, and see if it works. If it works, then great. If it doesn't, we'll move on. But that is the new project that we are doing here at Mogul Fellows, and so we'll try and keep you up to date. As you can see, VIPs get access to all alerts for our, we're calling them Mogul Mining. So if you come here, I'll show you the project announcement here. So that is pretty much what we are doing here, guys, at Mogul Fellows right now for the next project. So all right, so now let's dive into the S&P chart. We obviously saw it a little bit here, and so we saw the weekly here, and it looks, choppy as heck, guys. Choppy as heck here. Obviously there's a lot of volatility in the market. It's up and down, up and down. We'll see what happens. I think people are just really antsy about what's going on with tech. Obviously tech overvaluations. Obviously unemployment, the labor data. We need to come out good. If it comes out bad, we might have to be forced to cut rates again. We don't know what the Fed's gonna do this in January. There's just a lot of stuff on the table, like inflation too. We don't know if these cuts are going to cause inflation to go back up. So it really, people are really antsy when it comes to this current market right now. But we want to check out 3-month 4-hour chart here. So the S&P 500, we reached the all-time high at 691.21. I believe that was looks like it's showing December 11th. So, last week we hit an all-time high at 691.24 on the S&P 500 SPY, but now we're coming back down, testing this 200 day moving average here. So we'll see what happens. We have the 200 at 677, and we have a current price at 681, guys. So that is the S&P 500 current status, the charting there. All right, now so let's go over today what is going on. So We obviously have Tesla really ripping. We saw Elon Musk really doubling down on robotaxi. We saw, in Austin, they're starting to drive themselves now. No drivers necessary in those cars anymore, in the robotaxis. And we saw a high today at the 481.77, guys. And now it's trading. It did sell off a little bit more at 473. It did, a lot of shorts are probably jumping in and trying to, get in. But we have it at, an RSI level of 70. So, a little overbought, but we'll see if it reaches, 500. You guys already know that, we have a big case study on this position. It's our biggest position in the Mogul Pot, our long-term stock portfolio. So we are very excited for this news. Hopefully we could, get Robotaxi to start producing really good revenue for the company, and as we wait for also Optimus to come as well, for that to really boost our revenue as well for Tesla. So that is Tesla, obviously the big performer today. We see it up 3.20% there. We have Airbnb killing it here, up 2.64%. We see it in overbought values here at the 131, reached a high 131.66, guys. Procter & Gamble, people are, testing this market. They, don't know. This is a good stock to hold during, hard times, because, this company is going to be getting consistent revenue. They sell stuff like toothpaste, and people need that stuff all the time, guys. So they sell products that regardless of a crash, people are going to need. So we see that really rip into overbought values at the 75 RSI level. We have Johnson & Johnson, another, stock that will, won't really be volatile during, I guess it could be volatile during hard times, but this stock will rip during, hard times with the S&P 500. So Johnson & Johnson and Procter & Gamble safety stocks, we see that in overbought levels at a 77 RSI. And then we have Berkshire Hathaway for this fifth spot at the 505.50 at a 70 RSI level, guys. So we're in 3 out of the 5 stocks that performed good today. We're in Tesla trading. That's the trading position, not our long term. We have we're in Procter & Gamble, we're in Johnson & Johnson. We are not in Berkshire Hathaway right now. Now, let's go over the bottom 5. BM&R is really having a hard time trying to, break above this 200. Obviously, we saw it, low at 24.33, and it did break above this 200 day, and everyone, was excited. Obviously it was, kind of a bull trap though, and we now are testing the 30 level there now. So we have it at a 24 RSI level below the 30 considered oversold values. We have Rocket Lab down 10%, and BM&R was down 11%, but Rocket Lab down 10% today. Still above oversold levels, but still, trying to, we'll see if it tests this 200 day here for Rocket Lab, guys. And obviously, with the SpaceX announcement, with it, possibly going public. I think Elon confirmed it's going public next year in 2026. We just don't know when exactly. Rocket Lab, we could see, get hit pretty hard. Due to a lot of people now wanting to get into SpaceX instead of Rocket Lab. But that is Rocket Lab testing this 200. We'll see if, or a 50 day, and we'll see if it gets down to the 200. CoreWeave now, guys. CoreWeave down 8% today. We see it getting rejected by this 200 day last week, and now we see it in oversold values. We'll see if it continues to be above this low level of 65.22. We have it currently at 71.80. And then we have IonQ, quantum computing company, and near oversold levels. We see, really getting bull trappy here, with it coming above that 200, testing, and then now down below it at the 46 now. So we see it at 32 RSI level near oversold levels. Now we have MSTR strategy, Michael Saylor. This company is having a hard time trying to recover these past months. Gosh, we saw a high of, looks like 459, guys, and we see it just tanking, guys, all the way down to the 161.90 level, a low of 155.61. So we'll see, guys. Strategy not looking too good. The last, looks like July was the all-time high for that. So we'll see what happens with strategy, but that is the bottom 5 stocks on the day. So now let's go over the CNBC live updates, guys. Let's go over here and read this to you guys, and then we'll end this session. So the S&P closes slightly lower as AI plays weigh on markets. So let's go over this. The S&P ended today slightly lower as key stocks in the artificial intelligence trade came under pressure, with the broad index losing 0.16% to settle at 6816. We had Dow Jones slipping for 149, 0.09, finished at 48416, and then we have NASDAQ falling 0.59% to 23057. So let's go over what exactly happened. Certain AI stocks bogged down the broader market during Monday's session, with shares of Broadcom and Oracle. Broadcom and Oracle were the main suspects last week, two names that led a rotation away from AI last week, declining more than 5% and more than 2% respectively. Other names like Microsoft also suffered some losses, guys. Investors moved instead to areas more sensitive to the economy, such as consumer, discretionary, and industrials. They also loaded up on healthcare shares. These moves came after the S&P 500 and tech-heavy NASDAQ finished the week lower, while the 30-stock Dow, which is less exposed to tech and AI than the other two benchmarks, rose meaningfully. Additionally, Oracle plunged 12.7% during the week period, while Broadcom shed more than 7%, guys. The S&P 500 tech sector dropped 2.3%. So here's a quote. You guys could read that if you want. Let's see, what else do we want to mention here? Economic data reports could set the tone for the market this week, guys. As we mentioned, November non-farm payroll figures are set for release Tuesday, along with October retail sales figures. These reports were delayed due to the U.S. government shutdown that took place in the fall, guys. So we're going to get up-to-date data here soon. So we'll see what happens with that. Economists polled by Dow Jones are expecting the November non-farm payroll data to show an increase of 50,000 on the month, which would mark a significant drop from 119,000 jobs added in September. Also, the CPI is due out later in the week on Thursday, guys. So that is pretty much CNBC live updates. You guys could come check this out. I'll leave a link in the bio. Shout out to CNBC. But that is pretty much what has happened this past week, guys. So, we profited $182.06 last week. That'll be distributed into our spending to do projects, long-term investments, and giving back, guys. And then we made that brand news of trying out Go Mining, the Go Mining app. So we will keep you posted on that project. So guys, that is pretty much session 113. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in to supporting the channel. If you guys like this content, smash the like button, and then subscribe, guys. Subscribe to our channel, really help us out, guys. So I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. Till next time, hit the outro.